So, in the absence of a big bazooka from the Europeans to solve their debt problems, it was left to the Federal Reserve to lead 5 other big central banks into concerted action. Together, they're effectively halving the borrowing costs for US dollars for the banks in the hope that the spreading credit crunch coming out of Europe could be overcome. In a moment, we'll cross to London to discuss the morning after, but first, this from Philip Lasker.
An offer of help from the most powerful central bank alliance possible hit markets like an adrenaline rush.
In the short term, the panic is over, but we all know that more steps have to be taken after this important one.
Global markets surged between 2 and 6%. The US and some European markets had their best days in more than 2 years. Australia saw its biggest gain in almost a month.
What the market's now breathing is a big sigh of relief in the fact that the lines of business and the channels of finance are still open.
There are growing fears of a credit crunch as Europe's problems make banks more anxious about lending money to each other and borrowers. So the US Federal Reserve has joined forces with the UK, Swiss, Japanese, Canadian and European central banks to cut the cost of lending the most important currency, US dollars.
Having a number of very powerful central banks get together and coordinate this action not only provides a huge amount of money but sends a very, very strong message to the global banking community.
But the message may soon be lost without more fundamental action.
This action today doesn't do anything to end this sovereign debt crisis. We will need more action from the Europeans and especially the European Central Bank.
And Europe's inaction has the world's most powerful bond trader looking beyond the numbers.
Every day when I kiss my daughter goodbye in the morning, she's 8 years old, I wonder what world is she going to inherit.
If Reserve Bank Governor Glenn Stevens feels the same, he might cut interest rates again next week.
Interest rate cuts are really only based about what's happening in Europe.
So it's a day-by-day proposition.